Welcome back. Now, I want to remind you to email any questions or concerns to kilncast at montevallo.edu. And also, I want to inform you that tune in for the next two Saturdays viewing and this Tuesday. Now we're going to go live into the kiln.
Not you, me.
So where are you getting from?
Not you, me.
Not you, me.
You get your haircut for this thing?
Hi, here we are in the Fat Bastard. This is the belly of the Fat Bastard. He always says, "Come step into my belly." Here we are. You can see people loading pieces and how the pieces are loaded at all different angles. When you load the kiln, you try to think of the firebox as the band, and all these are the audience facing the band. So when the ash and the flame come through, you want to see how it's going to affect the piece. So if the ash is falling here, perhaps on this piece it would run down. And then when you set that back upright, it looks like the ash is kind of defying gravity. So you'll see some of that on our unloading day. Here in the kiln, we have all kinds of pieces. This is by Chris Greenman, and this is a Chris Kelly piece. And there's Iman Siraj. This is another Chris Kelly piece. This is by Katie. We call her Barnacle Kate. She's one of the students in Dr. Meyer's class right now. And she has all these cute little things added to her pieces. Here's a mug set on its side. This is what we call a pinch pot up here, because it's a ball of clay that you just pinched into shape, and then it's got pieces cut out of it. The important thing in the Anagama firing is having texture on the pieces so that it has a place for the ash and the flame to get in and to move down and to have these wonderful effects, things to crawl on. And you see here's a little electronic piece. This is a mouse. Most of you might recognize the mouse without its cord. This is just behind the door of the side of the kiln, so these pieces will get less of an effect from the flame and ash. It'll be more gentle back here. In front of the door is the firebox, and you'll get more dramatic effects back there. It's a little bit more violent, and it's getting stacked last because, of course, we only have two doors, so you can only stack from the back forward and then from this point forward. There's Dr. Meyer.
I'm putting work in what Teresa said is the most violent area during the firing, and it's an area where a lot of logs. Right where I'm sitting is going to be a roaring fire, and the fuel is introduced at the height of the kiln to the tune of maybe 20 or more split pieces of wood at one time, and so that might take the coal bed up as high as my hand. And so you see where the pieces are, and sometimes logs will roll off and bump into a piece of work and that sort of thing. And so it's an area of tremendous opportunity, but it's also not without its risks. So what I'm doing here is trying to space them off the shelves with soft brick that's a little bit more porous and easily cleaned off the pieces after the firing. And so not only am I putting that underneath each piece, but also on the sides, imagining them receiving a bump from a log or something, and hopefully not sticking to each other, because at that high temperature, everything's fusing and molten. It's like syrup. And so you can imagine, syrup, which is really glass, reaching out one to another, and next thing you know, you have pieces tipped into each other. Good example of that is in the Birmingham Museum of Art, where they have two pieces that in medieval Japan, so 500 or 600 years ago, tipped into each other and are fused permanently that way. And every time I see that piece, I forgive myself a little bit for doing that occasionally with our stuff. But everyone's pieces are all, fitting in here. And this will be a job that will take me through tomorrow. It's very, very important to get it right.
Teresa's been telling us a little bit about what's going on inside the kiln. Now let's go back to her studio and see some of her work.
I'm Teresa Olson, and I'm a senior in the clay program at Alabama State University in Montgomery, Alabama. Right now I'm doing, for my art part of my pottery, I'm doing a series of torso jugs, and I've done several of them and fired them in the Fat Bastard in the last year. And today I'm working on a variation on that theme. I have a friend named Kelly that's a professional potter, and these are from her website. This is my inspiration for this term. I wanted to get some more gestural shapes into my jugs, so I first sculpted them into small pieces so I could get a feel of what they would be like. And they're actually kind of cool because you can play them.
So why do you like firing in Anagama kilns?
Oh, it's like NASCAR for wood fire potters. It has danger, and it has fire. It has a river of flame, and it has sound, and you've got a lot of camaraderie around the kiln. But I just like burning things.
We want to thank Teresa for letting us come in and snoop around her studio and see what she's been up to. And we want to remind you to tune in again on Tuesday afternoon at 1 p.m. Central Standard Time when they will be firing the kiln. That's when the action really begins, and it'll be hot, so tune in, and you will want to see just how much wood. There's just stacks and stacks of wood all around here, and it's probably all going to be used in the course of this of the firing, so make sure to tune in again. That's Tuesday, 1 p.m. Central Standard Time for the firing of the Fat Bastard.
Now, we also want to remind the Bruce to email any questions or comments to kilncast@montevallo.edu. We thank you for joining us here, and we'll see you Tuesday.
We're gonna see it find its home.
Find a little spot for it.
Right, see, it's about to get a home. Did Jack's cup? It's right.
Yeah, that's a perfect spot for it.